What we see here is pretty common among beginner golfers, is that they're so focused on the golf ball that they hunch themselves up, get that head pointing straight down at the golf ball, stare at it in this rigid formation. What we need her to do is get her spine tilting a little bit more. So I'm going to draw up her back. See, I'm going to do it on a better line. I don't like that line. Let's do it on a green line here. So I go up her back. I like to see her head on that line instead of the big rounding off that we're seeing here. We don't want a rounding of the back. We want the back to be straight. That means that she can't turn her left shoulder under her chin because her chin is right up against her chest. That puts a bind and a knot in our spine. So get the head up, point the bill of your hat somewhere up on that line there, kind of out a little bit. Look through the bottom of your eyes to see the ball, not down straight at the ball. So let's advance this a little bit slower. Not bad. She's doing a pretty nice takeaway there. But you can see now there's nowhere for her shoulder to go, her lead shoulder, because it's running into her cheek already. So she's going to lift up in order to get the club going back further. I'm going to clear everything out of the way. What we want to see at this point is we'd like to see the lead shoulder pointing down to a spot just outside the golf ball, or down on about, let's say about in there. The shoulder should point down. You see her shoulder doesn't point there at all. It's flat. Her shoulder line is right across like that. We need to get that shoulder pointing down to the golf ball. Otherwise, all she's going to do is lift the club up with her hands. She doesn't get a real comfortable rotation. There's the lifting going on right there. Collapsing all in. The other thing we'll notice is look at the shape in her hands. That's nothing like she is at setup. She doesn't have a nice straight arm. Her hands are kind of rolled over together and kind of uncomfortable. The club shaft now is pointing way up here. Pretty hard to route it back down. Pull the handle. If you're going to pull the handle now, you're going to pull the handle on that green line. We don't want to do that. So we're going to advance it now. Let's see what she does. Now she's trying to figure out where the club goes. Now she did manage to get the club back on the line it was on. That's a better position. That's where she should have been at the top. Now she's dropping back down. Look how much movement she's got in her head. Foot or so. She's coming way outside. The club head needs to be inside the hands on the way down. By that I mean the club head has to route down this way to the golf ball. You'll see her club head goes just the opposite, out over the top, down to the ball, tops it, and swings. So her routing or path of the club has got to be a little flatter, so it's a little more sweeping motion, so it's not quite so steep. We'll work on that on the next session.